Sparking Zero is finally released, and it is a very vast game with not a lot of tutorials and explorations, so like everyone does when a new game releases, here are some things I genuinely wish I knew before I started jumping into it. The first thing I'd recommend is updating the settings, namely the accessibility settings. There are a bunch of things you can turn on in this game which will allow the game to basically autoplay for you, which is great, however they do impede your ability to genuinely be good at the game. I'd recommend turning all of these off with the sole exception of Recovery Assist. This is just literally free and helps you recover quicker. No reason not to just leave this one on. You can also use Combo Assist if you are struggling to chain your combo strings together. This allows you to get pretty easy, just mashing combos about 7,000 damage or even combo into supers very easily, but it will prevent you with some of the timing-based aspects. I'd also recommend turning the motion blare to low or even to fully off. Reason being, it can make it a bit hard to see your opponent during battle, and considering how tight this game's counter timing is, you want to be able to see it as easily as possible. The next thing I learned after updating the settings is going straight into the training mode. This game is brutally intricate. There are so many systems both with comboing and defending that you want to know, particularly the defensive options. Make sure you learn these. I'd honestly just recommend every time you boot the game up, jump back into super training, jump in and practice all your different counter moves to make sure you're good at them. Namely Perception Z counter, these are the most basic ones that are probably the most relaxed in their timing, but you get such a huge advantage. The Sonic Sway is insanely powerful, as well as Z counter is needed to be able to do those Dragon Ball style no you teleportation counters whenever there's a big hit coming. There is also super counter. The AI loves to spam this in story mode. It is very powerful, however, it is very precise on its timing. Regardless of what controller option you pick, it's pretty hard to nail it down, so I'd also recommend practicing this, but probably after you've got the first two down. Next, we get into the actual combat of the game. One thing that I've figured out completely by accident is, in contrast to the previous Sparking or Budokai Tenkaichi games, you can hit enemies on the ground into cutscene combos, namely your Rush Blast Supers. So if you knock an enemy onto the ground, feel free to chain that combo with a Rush Blast super attack. You'll be able to easily get an extra 7,000 to 1,000 damage then off of that. This isn't always a guarantee. Sometimes I swear it should have hit, but it will go straight past them. So the hitboxes are a little wonky, but it's still worth throwing out there because the damage you get is well worth just not doing it. The next thing is regarding the tournament mode. So the tournament mode will give you a base amount of Zenny for every time you complete it the first time. It then lowers the value in subsequent repeats. That said though, the value you get for that first time clearing each tournament is actually the same. So just play it on easy. There's no reason to play it on hard. You get no advantage in terms of your profits. That said, tournaments aren't the best way to make money in this game, and money is very important. Particularly if you want to fill out a character roster. The best way to get characters is just to play the game. As you play different characters in different modes, you'll add more characters to the shop to buy. The best way to get the money for these characters is actually from Goku's story mode. If you jump across to the Namek mission where you fight full power Frieza, every time you complete this, you get Goku's blue shirt costume. Obviously, you can't get the same costume multiple times, so after your first clear, you just get the value of Zenny that costume's worth, which is 300,000, which is a lot in this game's currency. You can easily get about 3 runs in 10 minutes, by the fact you start this fight with a full key bar to just go out with Sparking Super. So this is easily the best way to make money I've found so far. There are 2 exceptions to the characters I've found, namely Goku Black and Zamasu. I believe these ones are only obtainable through Super Shenron, which then leads us to the Dragon Balls. There are 3 types of Shenron in this game: Shenron, Super Shenron, and Purunga. Each of them have Dragon Balls obtained differently, at least at the start. Shenron's Dragon Balls are obtained through Whish's missions, or at least the first 7 ones that you get. Basically, just try the different game modes out, complete these, you get a free Shenron summon. Next is Super Shenron. He's actually obtained mainly through story mode. You pick up his Dragon Balls throughout Goku's story mode, Zamasu's story mode, I think Jiren's story mode too. Just anything that was based in related Dragon Ball Super. The last is Purunga, which, as far as I'm aware in my playing, there's no actually way to get his normally. You get his through the same way you get the other Dragon Balls on future summons, which is just the battle mode, both online and offline. As you do the fights, you'll have a random chance of dropping Dragon Balls. So the best way to probably do this is pick the tournament stage with Out of Bounds on, put ability equips on you for max ki, and just go straight for a super, knock the opponent out of bounds as immediately as the fight starts. The last thing I have is, unfortunately, regarding the game's difficulty. When it comes to the game's story mode, you basically only have 2 difficulties, hard and easy. There is no normal. You need to be on the default difficulty in order to unlock the what-if stories. You do have an item called Dragon Orbs, which you can get from Shenron. These do make the unlock conditions more lenient. They're usually time-related, beating the opponent within a certain amount of time. They make these more lenient, so you'll be able to then unlock those what-if paths, but it doesn't change how hard the fight is. Something else I found while in the process of literally editing this video, it's the very last minute edition, is you can actually see the hidden objectives in the game. Right here, we have a good example. This is the fight against Majin Buu's Super Saiyan 3. As you can see, I've already accomplished the base objective of wear down Majin Buu, but there's a hidden objective there that I can't quite see at the moment. Once you are in the fight, you can pause the game and go to battle details, and in here, it will actually tell you the objectives, the things you can do. So as you can see here, it shows that I have pace. I'm playing on default difficulty. My base objective is to reduce Buu's health, but if I do it quicker, I get the alternative objective. It also tells you how you can lose. So if I beat Buu quickly, I can actually unlock that alternative path, even though on the world map, it said it wouldn't tell me what the alternate path is. And that's pretty much the gist of it. Ultimately, this game is one that, as you keep playing, you'll find more things out with, particularly in terms of the combat system, which is so intricate and detailed. It's still blowing me away the things you can get away with. If you enjoyed this, I'm going to be posting more Spark and Zero content on the channel, mainly just highlights of the Twitch streams and recaps of things I've discovered with the game. So feel free to click the subscribe button and like the video. If we get a good reception, I might actually make more stuff like this. Particularly, I remember back in the day, a lot of Budokai Tenkaichi top 10 videos. I would love to do a breakdown of like my favorite super attacks and stuff like that with this game.